Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you covered.
Good luck, or not good luck. Good looking out.
No problem. We don't have to have our names up if you don't want to. It's up to you.
No, it's cool.
Okay. Um, well, Erica, we're officially recording, and thank you for taking the time to hang out with me this evening. You know, take time from your busy life to fool with us
All right.
plebeians.
You're the busy. You have a busy life. I do not.
It's not busy; it's just unorganized. Um, it's all right though. You know what I'm gonna do? I don't know if we can do it through here, but we're gonna try. No, let me stop fooling with stuff. Um, we're gonna jump right into it. What I'm about to do, because the reason I'm okay with just kind of doing this on the fly is because I'm going to be editing this video down. So all these spots where it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, um, they're not going to be in the final recording,
Yep.
right? So let's see. So there's a couple things we wanted to, not a couple. There's a few things. A couple means two, a few much more. I wanted to first have a quick talk about the movie Sinners.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, Sinners. So we were all looking forward to seeing it, and you told me to give you a call after I saw it, and I saw it. Hell of a movie.
yes.
Give me your initial take on what you saw. Talked about it a little earlier, but give me a little more.
Ooh. Um. I don't know. I felt like I think what like sucked me in at the very beginning was um seeing the twins driving through that
Cottonfield.
that cotton field in Mississippi. Um, because I have there's a line of my ancestors that come from Mississippi.
Okay.
Um, Yalobusha County. And don't ask me where that is. I have no idea where it is. I need to look on the map. I have atlases. I need to look at my road atlas and figure out where it is. But I just imagined that that was something that they would have seen, something like that they would have seen. Um,
Right.
and not sad, the interesting thing was, as beautiful as that scenery was, I know the brutality that made that possible. Um,
Hmm.
so that socked me in the gut. Um, um, the Sammy character that blew me away because that's my grandpa's name. Um,
Oh,
and
that's right. We talked about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
that was fun.
you know how important he is to me.
Right.
Um, and my grandpa was a beautiful dark brown skinned man, just like that, and had that type of disposition, and he spelled his name the exact same way that the character did, which
Okay.
blew my mind as well. So, like all of the pivotal characters in that movie, every single one, I have either kinfolk, ancestors, somebody was attached to that name. So it was literally like they were my folks on the other side were like, "Hey, um, we know you're going through some rough stuff right now, but we're still here. Do you
Yeah.
see all the stuff that we dealt with and that we um we we thrived
Survive.
through? I mean, we dealt
Yeah.
with it, still achieve things, but
Yeah.
just know that we're with you at sound. We're with you in sight, smell, all the things that you do, um, the little quirks or synchronicities that pop up for me. Um,
Right.
it was like everything clicked. Um,
Yeah.
that
So we
movie.
talked. Yeah. No, so I agree. But when we talked earlier, we talked about the that initial music scene when after they explained how those special people can create music so powerful that they can reach to the other side.
Mhm.
And I mentioned before we got off the phone, how religion and science kind of coalesce in that moment because I think one is trying to explain the other and vice
Yeah.
versa, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so I really loved how Ryan Coogler brought in, you know, first of all, multiple cultures. who have deep history in music, right? And not to shade Europeans, but it's just not really there, right? Uh, Native Americans, um, Eastern cultures, Africans, Cubans, like everybody,
People
and
of
the
color. Yes.
people of color, just yeah, people of color,
Mhm.
uh, non-white folks, whatever we want to call it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Brittany really liked that scene too. She didn't. She wasn't able to articulate it as well as I think some could, but she knew she felt something. When you said that earlier,
Yeah, the drums. It's something about drums. It's something about hearing those. Um, they're not. Well, as a child, there were songs that my grandmother would hum, and I thought they were just like sounds. But
yeah,
after years, as I grew up, I found out, oh snap, there are actual words to that. But the way that
yeah,
they sing them didn't sound like they were words. Um,
absolutely.
and so it's something about hearing those types of tunes, that type of music. It really resonates with me. And just like if I hear um, Native American music and chants and things like it,
Yeah,
literally like it sets off bells and whistles. It's like whoa, okay, and who did I tap into?
yeah.
Um,
No, that's real.
yeah.
Uh, Funny thing about you use the perfect word, resonate. I'm talking about resonance, right?
Hmm.
And so everything is vibration, right? Even string theory talks about how everything is a vibration. I vibrates on a certain frequency, da da da
Yep.
da, da,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So that those drums, so drums mimic what? Heartbeat, just like time, like your clock, the ticks
Yep.
of a clock is all based on the rhythm of a heart.
Right.
And so when you speed those drums up, because it's all a vibration, right? You
Hmm.
speed those drums up, you get the snare from that guitar, right?
Mm. Mm.
So like the concussive beat of a drum, right? It's just slower.
Hmm.
Native, I'm doing this in my hand, and the beat you can almost place on any culture,
Yes. Yes.
right?
You
And
can.
so that's in my opinion, that's the reason why all of those things connect is because essentially it all comes down to the same thing, right? Resonance, vibrations, frequency, life,
Hmm.
and being able to manipulate those things as these characters could do, manipulate these different frequencies just with music. Excuse me. Now they didn't after that first part they didn't really expand on
Right. They didn't.
how or the why,
Right.
but I was kind of stuck there because ultimately it's a vampire. I don't really believe in vampires per se, right? Not in the way that we talk about them, but dark forces, right? I
Oh,
think vampires is just a metaphor for
yeah, a
dark
metaphor.
forces.
But there are vampiric um,
It's yeah,
entities and
yeah,
people that have vampiric spirits, like
absolutely.
energy vampires,
Yeah.
folks that literally just suck the life right out of you. So, yeah, yeah.
They don't have to say anything to you. Be in the same room with them. It's
No,
just
and you'll be like, God, why do I feel so drained? What? Just Jesus, I need to go home and
yeah. We know some of those people.
yeah, we do, we do.
We're not gonna talk about that right now.
Right.
Anyway, but no, I thought it was the movie was so layered to the point I think we're gonna go see it again. Brittany brought it up, but I
Yeah,
think
I was saying that I think I'm gonna go by myself. Don't tell my husband that, but I'm gonna go by myself. And
we'll
um,
make sure this is after the fact. I'm waiting.
he
So
won't care. He won't care because it literally, like, there were certain moments of that movie where I literally, like, seriously was just like, oh my God, like this.
yeah,
Everything is so interconnected that I want to say, oh my God, do you know this? And it was like I wanted to like just pause it for a second and be like, okay, so quick history lesson. Da, 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 da. And my husband, I love him dearly, but he literally would have looked at me like, what? And that would have
right.
just sent me right off the edge, like just yeah.
Watch this though. I don't know if you picked this up. What were the twins' names?
Wasn't
Their
it
first names. Their first names. Do you remember?
smoking? Shoot,
Stack. But
Sack.
their
That's what.
first names.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Oh, Elijah and Elias.
Elijah and Elias.
Yes.
Do you know why that was important?
Hold on. I'm assuming that they were biblical characters, and I can't think of.
Yeah. But Elijah and Elias are the same person in the Bible.
That's right. He when he became a disciple, they changed his name, right? Or
Believe so. I don't recall the
something.
whole story, but I remember from years and years ago, Sunday school, hearing about. Uh, I'm not talking about. Uh, I'm not talking about who got his name changed to Israel, he who wrestles with God. That's not who I'm talking about.
No,
Um,
no.
Elijah and Elias. I don't remember the entire story, but I do remember that they were the same person because I was confused. I'm like, well, who's Elijah and who's Elias? It's like, no, no, no. God
There's
changes.
but if you
Yeah,
think about it, it's so you know how I can't remember which one was which, but one wore red, the other one was signified by blue. Um,
right,
that
right.
that also meant something to me, and so it's like this it's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah,
Um, so it was like um, how do I explain it? Um, they were literally the same person. They're twins. But
well,
like just people. Period. There's
yeah,
two sides to who you are. There's a
yes.
side of you that you may show the world, and then there's another side that um, you
So,
know, keep that to yourself. Yeah.
well, it's you're talking about duality. I was trying
Yeah.
to let you find it, but I was,
No, but that was I didn't come up with that word, but or find that exact word, but yes.
yeah. But it's like the I Ching or yin and yang.
Yin and yang. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Like so, in the weird part is if you pay attention to the story, you realize one cannot exist without the other,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Right.
And ultimately, that's what happened because Stack, I think, is the one who survived. Excuse me, who carried on because he didn't survive. He's a vampire. He's actually dead. So one
Right.
could not survive without the other,
Right.
right? And so, or excuse me, live without the other. The
Right.
other one's literally walking dead.
Right.
Um, I thought I thought that was profound, and here's why: because they talked about all the stuff that they had gone through, being in war, traveling the world, being in Chicago, and they both talked about how they kept the other one alive and safe,
Mhm.
right? Especially when they talked about their father. The initial thought when Sammy was talking to Smoke, which one was he riding with in the cotton field?
That stack.
That was Stack.
The
Okay.
one in the red. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So Stack, he thought Stack was the one who killed their father. Turns
And
out it was
he was
Smoke.
like, no. He was like, no, that was smoke. Smoke did that.
Yeah,
He was like,
yeah.
hold on, wait a minute.
Man.
Because you're the G, so wait a minute.
Yeah.
How did this dude who's level headed, who's business minded, who's so cool, calm, and collected,
Mhm.
why did he snap and take your pops out? And
But because he was wrath, right? Because you remember
that part.
he shot that guy in the butt in the
Sure
street.
did. And said, yeah, I can't let you take off and let people think that
Right.
you
Exactly.
you
Exactly. But also extremely compassionate because
because I let you live to tell the tale.
not
That
just that I pay for your care.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like who does that? That's he's a very
or
conflicted
like
individual. Yeah,
not
yeah,
he was not conflicted. He literally made sense to me. I thought
yeah,
that's some stuff I would do. Just
yeah,
I'm just going I'm gonna scar you enough that you live, but
yeah.
you're gonna hate the name Erica when if somebody says that. They're gonna be like, oh my god, I hate that.
I know I'm staying away. Staying away. Uh, no,
No.
but there's so many layers to that movie, and I did some research into the movie, and apparently they're creating a universe around it. So that initial scene with the Choctaws,
Yeah,
uh,
because I
Native
wish
American,
I would have gotten into that because
yeah,
if you peep that, so what I love about people of color is we know when some um are we allowed to curse?
yeah,
Okay, so we know when some fuckery is afoot, and we
yeah,
don't stick around to be like, "What was that? Did you hear that?"
yeah.
Well, we're really like, you know what? I'm gonna let you handle that, and deuces, we're out. Um, they literally was like, "Hey, have you seen XYZ 1 2 3? You sure? And you're straight? All right." And they knew you could tell in that dude's face. He was like, "I know you got those jokers, but you know what? Since you think that you know better, I'm gonna let you handle that. And good luck."
That's the crazy part is they were hunting, they were fucking him up.
Yes,
They were that
yes,
guy.
yes.
So there was also a piece that I pointed out to Brittany. We took a road trip one time, forgot to where, and I pointed out to her. I was like, I asked her, I was like, do you know what it means when vultures are circling.
Mm.
No,
Dead. The dead.
it's dead, right?
Yeah.
Something's dead in there.
Hmm.
I like how Coogler
Brought
I'm
those
like
vultures that were circling.
every spot where there was either death had been or was going to
Was going
be,
to come. Yes, there
yeah,
were those vultures.
there were
And that's
vultures.
exactly what I thought. And I thought,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so when they were meeting up with the guy at the club, I was like, that's strange that there are vultures there. And then they talked about how they murdered hella people at that place.
It
And
was
that's
a
just what they
slaughterhouse.
did.
It was a
Yeah, it was a
slaughterhouse.
slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
But
Vultures.
it wasn't strange to me because I thought to me it felt immediately this is a setup. This dude, why are you being so copacetic with these two black fellas in the time period? And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Mississippi, yeah, okay. And so you're literally going to you're going to figure out a way to finagle that whole situation and then bump them off, take their money, and go on about their business.
So I'll be transparent. That part you picked up on, like, oh, there's something afoot here.
Mm-hmm.
After they like said what they said to him and was like, don't come back here. I thought it was over, honestly.
Oh, what? No, it's never over. It's
Yeah,
never.
right. But I didn't understand how immediate that comeback was going to be. Right.
That is what people miss about life. That those type of people, those type of entities or whatever, it's literally the payback, the comeback is like that. It's instantaneous. It's not like they're gonna just let me go on and live. No, never that.
Yeah, when the vampire explained it, and I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
And I had to remember the time.
That you was like, well, what? No, that literally was like, "Dur."
Yeah.
But that's just me being a history nerd. But
yeah, no, I mean, we don't get into it. Trust me.
Well, that's just intuition. I was just like, this does not feel right. This ain't right.
Oh my gosh, there's so many parts about that movie that, again, I think I'm just gonna go and see it again.
Yeah. Man, we need to go see it. You know that? We need to go see that and chit chat and have little side conversations.
Listen, I will live stream that shit on my new Meta glasses. Okay.
Oh, hell.
And then it's legal as hell, but mind your business.
Right. Going back to leave us be.
Man. But no, that's a great movie. That's a great movie.
It was beyond a great movie. Yeah, it was just, and I didn't like how there were some people like, it was just a vampire movie. And I'm like, okay, you surface level goofballs. If that's all you saw, if all you saw was a no pun intended, revamped version of what was that movie back in the day with I must say Quentin. Yeah. Oh shoot, what's the name of that movie? Dawn to Dusk, I think. Dusk to Dawn, something like that.
Yeah,
that's all you saw was a revamped version of that. Man, you missed the entire. You stay at home.
The only thing similar about those movies was it had music and vampires. That's it.
And I don't even remember there being music in Dusk Till Dawn. I don't remember.
It was they were in a club. It was like
I do remember that part, but I don't remember music being like a central.
Yeah, I don't know if it was part of it. I'm thinking more like the soundtrack or the musical overlay, not making music. Yeah. Right.
Because I want to say, wasn't it a House of Ill Repute or something like that? Like a
I don't know. I don't recall. It might have been a horror house. It might have been.
See, and I said the nice word. I said the House of Ill Repute, but okay.
I know we're drinking. We're gonna keep it real. Jack. Here we go. No.
Yeah.
I want to get you. I want you to be able to loosen up a little bit, and we'll get into better conversation. What's got your?
Uh-oh.
Did you hear all that?
Nope. It was a whomp, and then you cut out.
Okay. What's got your attention right now on the internet?
You said on the internet?
Yeah. If you went to your YouTube right now, what's predominantly in your algorithm?
Oh hell. It would be the creepy. There's I listened to this lady. Her channel is Raven Reads. So she literally narrates all of these creepy stories, like true stories, like glitches in the Matrix or cryptids or alien sightings or supposedly true stories that people write in. And I literally will put my earbuds in and literally like zone out and fall asleep to that.
Okay.
That would scare the bejesus out of other folks, but for me, no.
Aliens. Okay,
And
so
man, which is why I wore my shirt today.
Is that?
It is the
Oh, Negro Leagues, the Grays.
yes, it is the Josh Gibson jersey.
Yeah.
And I
Best assassin Babe Ruth just wasn't recognized whole time.
Exactly.
Whole time.
That part.
Yeah.
And I bought it a few years, maybe a year or two ago, because there was an episode of the X-Files that came out the day before my birthday, so April 25th of 1999. And so my mother and I would always watch the X-Files. And so I remember seeing that episode, and I remember sitting on the floor in her bedroom thinking to myself, holy crap. And so at the very end, Mulder's got on a Homestead Grays jersey, and I'm thinking to myself, I need that. I got to get that. I need that.
Fox Mulder and Dana Scully.
Right.
Listen, I was listen. Okay, you just had a birthday.
Yep.
49, right?
Yep.
A few years older than me. But let me explain. When I was a kid, so this is, you know how like when you're a kid, or at least maybe not you, most kids, right?
Yeah.
Have an experience, and as we get older, we convince ourselves that it wasn't a real experience, right?
Maybe you, but not me. But go ahead. Okay.
Yeah. It took me a while to come into the realization that the ether's real, right? So I was about 7, maybe 8 years old, and I knew what aliens were, kind of like in a cursory way, like from movies and stuff like that. But I was with my grandmother, God rest her soul, at my auntie's house. And I was always an oddball kid. Like I was just the fat kid everybody wanted, so I found ways to entertain myself alone. I went outside of the townhouse and I'm playing. And for whatever reason, I've always had the ability to just kind of pay attention to what's going on around me, like listen to what's going on around me. Mm-hmm. And there was this moment where I remember hearing the trees and the wind, and then I didn't, right? Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, I decided to look up. Now, here's the thing. It's summertime. Mm-hmm. It's not nighttime. It's dark, but it just got dark. We're still kind of blue. No. Past that, we're still kind of blue. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. More black than blue, but you can tell it's not all the way nighttime. So if it's around that time, the sun goes down in the summertime, what, 8:30, 9 o'clock?
Yeah, depending on when it's summertime, yeah.
Might have been 9:20, 9:15. It was still mostly black, but it still had some blue. Mm-hmm. And I look up and I see what has to be a line that stretches for miles on both sides. Right? Mm-hmm. And I see it's not a blinking light. It's like a glow that's moving. Right? Mm-hmm. But again, my issue is I don't hear the trees. I hear everything else. There's cars moving around, but nope. How often do you really go outside and look up? Right?
Well, I do, but
yeah,
because I love astronomy. But yeah.
So I realize something's up there. And the way I realize that is because this part of the sky is completely black. This part of the sky I can still see. Okay.
Okay.
Now I tell my grandma, hey, is there something in the skies? I think it's a UFO. Nobody's listening to me.
Baby, you ain't saying that. Go in the house.
Take your ass out. Go eat some. Get some meat. Get some something. Get a snack. Right? Mm. I let it go. I don't remember what year. But it happened in Arizona where several hundred people saw what I saw, but this is years later, right? So this happened in like the mid-late night. Actually, let me look. I'll look right now. Arizona sighting. Mm, Phoenix Lights, is that what it was?
That's
90,
rare.
yeah, 97, Phoenix Lights. So the thing I thought I saw was like, I thought it was just like a block or a triangle because, again, I couldn't fully make it out. When this came up, and my grandma was still alive when this happened, right? So let me actually share this part. Window. Right here it is. So when this happened,
When you said that, that's exactly what I pictured in my mind.
yeah. What I thought I saw was a complete triangle, which it could have been. I don't know, right? And so,
But not so much that I guess that angle, but no, I'm talking about a straight up triangle, like yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what I would have, if what I saw was what I saw, it would have been one of these edges. But the way that it was angled and moving, it
Mhm.
would have been an edge like this. Oh, you can't see it. An edge like this.
Mm.
This edge.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
but it was massive. Like I can't express to you how big I think this thing was, right?
Yeah.
And so when this happened, when this story came out, it was all over CNN, and then they made a joke about it. Like even the governor, the mayor showed up with an alien mask and made a joke of it. But too many people saw it. Far too many people saw it to ignore it.
Hmm.
And I told my grandmother, I was like, Grandma, do you remember that night at Aunt Niecy's house when I said I think there's a UFO outside? I think this is what I saw.
Mhm.
The fuck is she gonna do with that? 10 years later, you know what I mean? And so uh, it was funny that you brought that up, but I've always been a believer in extraterrestrial life. I don't think humans come from this planet. I think we were seeded here. Um, I don't believe that uh, the Bible is a literal story. I think it's trying to explain some things, just like other religions, right? It's trying to
Right,
explain.
right. All of them. Yeah.
And so, because what's really funny is if you listen or read uh, the Bhagavad Gita
Yeah.
or the the Upanishads, right? They talk about wars that happen in the sky here.
Yes, and if you see like the medieval paintings that show like little like Star Wars, and there's people at the bottom, and they're looking at the sky like,
Yeah,
and
and
so
we
I'm
have like
and people painted and drew what they saw. You
yeah,
feel me? So you saw that. Somebody saw that and literally was
somebody
like,
saw
"Yo, I need to document
it.
this."
But even further than that, one of the oldest religions in the world. What is it called?
Is it
Oh shoot.
Zoroastrianism or no?
Yes, Zen and Austrianism or whatever. I can't remember, obviously, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the idea that these people were flying in what they,
Yes.
yeah, dude, how, listen, they are here, they are breathing,
Oh, been here. Been here.
they've been
Been
here.
Okay, been here.
Uh,
You look at the like the Aztec and the Incan empires and the figurines and things that they have on their temples and stuff.
yeah,
You've got people that are in like suits that are
yeah,
in spacecrafts. There's even in hieroglyphics things that should not be there,
absolutely.
because technically that technology didn't exist back then. But I think that technology did exist, and I just think that they don't, whoever they is, they
Yeah,
don't want folks to realize that there's nothing. The saying is there's nothing new under the sun, and I don't care what it is. There's nothing new under the sun,
true. And I do think that. I do
and
think
I
that.
think we're stupid compared to ancient man. I think we're very stupid.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like we when we think about advancements in technology, we base it on the things that we think we understand now. And it's very. I asked that question. I forgot to who. I said, what if if a civilization is so advanced. Excuse me. How did I phrase the question? I said, would it be possible that a civilization so advanced would leave no trace of their existence if they were to have existed? Think about that, because anything you leave behind is literally
Right.
litter, garbage. Like if you're that advanced, what there's I don't see how you wouldn't figure out a way to not leave litter and clutter, right?
Unless you figured out a way to hide it in plain sight.
True, true. Yeah, no.
Because if you think about the story of Atlantis, I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is gonna be great. I love that we're talking about this because nobody wants to talk about this shit with me.
man, that's cool stuff, though.
Listen, people don't realize that there's an entire fucking city underwater in China. They don't understand that there's like the sea levels have risen to such a degree that most of what we would consider civilized like cities and towns have been covered by water.
Yes.
Gobekli Tepe. How can you look at Gobekli Tepe and say we're the top thing?
And that, as a kid, I always thought to myself, mankind is so damn stupid. Do you really think that y'all know everything? There's so many things that ancient man figured out, knew, constructed. I mean, like the seven wonders of the world. How did you create the Colossus that's literally standing, a statue over right? And you're like, and that literally stood for I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of years until an earthquake rolled up and took it out.
For sure.
How do you, and the pyramids, how do you construct something like that literally is mathematically perfect, and you don't have you supposedly don't have the knowledge to do so. That, and I personally think sound was used, because if you think about I can't remember, it was something that I read, but it was talking about how sound was used to move things.
Cymatic frequencies.
Boom. Okay. And if you think about it, if you were able to create sound on a, how do I explain it? On a level where it was just so damn powerful that it was able to levitate things or move things into positions or whatever.
Yeah.
That would explain how you did things. I know it sounds kind of hippie trippy, but at the same time, I mean, if you've got pyramids that you literally can look through a skylight or whatever, and there's at certain times of the year, there's certain things that line up perfect. How do you do that? How did the Dogon tribe in Africa, how did they know about the dog star? If you're out in the boonies and you don't know about not astrology, but astronomy and things of that nature, how did you know that that's called the dog star? Serious, how do you know about it?
Really? No, but the thing is, and not to mention that, like I like that you brought up the dog star and the Dogon people. How is it that across the world, post flood, right? I do believe there was a flood.
Oh yes. That, because Gilgamesh is the same thing as Noah in his ark. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Around the world, China, Japan, Africa, South America, parts of the Americas talk about the people that came from the water, the fish people. The names are all similar.
Yes.
Dogon, the Dogon is the one I remember primarily, but there's like 5 or 6 different ones, right?
Yes.
And they all have a similar story. These people that came from the water and restarted civilization. And to further the point of talking about pyramids, we were taught growing up that the pyramids were burial chambers, and it's not true.
You know what? I'm trying to think. Was I taught that? I think I was, but something told me, no, that's not it.
It's completely not true, right? And now that they found, have you heard about them finding stuff under the pyramids, like these?
Yes, and like put it back, leave it alone. Don't tinker with that. Leave that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Part of me, like I said, I'm almost cool with burning the whole thing down. Part of me is like, no, go ahead. You know.
Come on, asteroid. So it might as well.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's so many things that we've just been told and we don't question that we're realizing are completely wrong. Like the way we approach religion, the way we approach education, the way we approach health, like all of these things that we've been fed, literally and figuratively, are wrong. Sorry, no, we got up. I was trying to get up on
You're
it.
good.
And it's amazing. It's
I was
amazing.
that weird kid that did never believe those things. I was the one kid that was like, but your sister so and so, well, Miss so, and I know I drove people bonkers because I was like, well, wait a minute. So if if the Bible says that God created the universe and everything in 7 days, and there's 24 hours in a day, how does that doesn't make sense? And I remember asking my mother that when I was little, and she said, well, who's to say that 24 hours or that a day lasted 24 hours? And I remember thinking, she said, who's to say that that wasn't millions of years? She said, because time is not going to be exactly the same.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, that tracks. That tracks. That makes sense.
It's trying to explain something to people that wouldn't otherwise understand it, because if you're trying to conceptualize, the Big Bang, it's literally the story of the Big Bang theory, right? Excuse me, of the Big Bang, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of nothing.
Because it came something, yes, and that's what I thought. Yeah, once I learned that, that's what that is.
You know what I love to do a lot of time, and it's not a healthy activity, but it entertains me. I like to argue with people about stuff in the Bible because
isn't it fun? Isn't that fun?
It's so fun.
It's so fun.
When people say like, "Well, the first man and woman on earth were Adam and Eve," like,
no, they weren't.
You sure about that? It's in the first page.
Yeah,
it's literally in the first page. And that
also tells you that God created more worlds, numerous universes. And so I'm thinking like it literally tells you right here that you're not the only jokers out here. And for mankind to think, or humans to think, well, it's just us. We're special. No, you're not. You're not.
Well, yeah. And to like in like the original, not the original, but like the translated text, right? It's not in the beginning. I don't want to misquote, but I feel like what I learned was, well, if I learned it, I wouldn't be guessing. If you translate it directly, it wasn't in the beginning. It was in this beginning.
That sounds familiar. I think I've heard that.
This beginning, I'll Google it super quick. This mic. In the beginning.
Yeah, I got a Bible on my mantle. Hold on a second.
Okay. In the beginning. Oh no, in a beginning. That's what it was. In a beginning. Yeah. Hebrew. In a beginning. So in a beginning denotes that, or implies
it's not the beginning.
It's not the beginning. It's one of the beginnings, right? In a beginning. All right, cool. So, and then if you allow yourself to think about history, right?
Mm-hmm.
The earliest civilizations, people often miss this part when I try to explain it. Do you understand how long it takes for a civilization to figure out how to eat on a consistent basis, let alone record history accurately, or think to have the presence of mind to say we should write this down?
Right.
You're either taught that or you figure it out over a long fucking period of time.
Yeah.
Right? Because like the young earthers or whatever, they're like, well, the earth is so many thousands
years. 5,000 years old.
I said, if you look at the story of Abraham, he came from the city of Ur, right? Mm-hmm. Can we agree? Mm-hmm. The fact that I said the city of Ur,
right,
should tell you something. It wasn't a village. It wasn't a town.
It was a city. Yeah.
It was a city. Yeah. That means it didn't just pop up and say we're going to create a city. They came from a very simple thing and grew to the point where they literally had to industrialize and set up a government and language and systems. That takes a very long fucking time.
Agriculture, you got to have a way to raise children, to
all of those things.
Sustain people, you have to. Yeah.
You're looking at I honestly believe you're looking at 10,000 years. You're looking at 10,000 of them right there.
Easy, easy.
Even if it was just two people who started. First, we're not gonna get into the incest and how they be jacked up. So it was simple math. There's no way to look at history and say, well, this is just what it is. Absolutely not.
Mhm.
I don't think the pyramids, I don't think we built the pyramids. I think that how the pyramids were built, I think you're spot on. But I
Not
think whatever,
Anunnaki, is that what you're gonna say?
I believe they're real too. Here's why.
I do too. I do too.
Here's why. The math says they're there. The math says they are there, right?
Yeah.
It's super weird. And if you think about it, I was watching Rogan years ago and he said this because people were talking about evolution. They were like, well, our closest related ancestors are, chimpanzees. I'm like, okay, cool. He made a statement. He said, if I put on a piece of bread, shit, right?
Okay.
And whatever that 4% or 0.4% is turkey, put that on the sandwich and close it and feed it to you. Is that a shit sandwich or is that a turkey sandwich?
That's a shit sandwich with turkey on it.
There it is.
Okay.
We're the turkey, right? We're the different. Like people hate to admit it. We're not chimpanzees, but are we primates? Are we hominids? Yes, that's that right?
Mm-hmm.
Hominids?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're primates.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we feel that connection. It's like when you see when you meet a person
Mm-hmm.
and you come to realize, oh, that's my fucking cousin. That's why we kind of ding ding
And
ding.
you're like me and you. When we figured out, I was like, that's kinfolk. That's what that is. Yeah.
When you look at a chimpanzee, more than I think any other primate, and you feel that connection, it's like, oh, there's something here.
There's awareness. They're sentient. Yeah. I don't think that they are just. I think animals, period, are sentient.
Oh,
I don't. It's just.
Yeah. There's some that I think like fish. We talk about fish. I don't think fish are sentient. I think they just kind of operate and they don't have.
I don't know about that now.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about fish. I'm not talking about dolphins. I'm not talking about killer whales. I'm talking about like the fish that we can eat. Like fish don't retain memory.
You're talking about like catfish and stuff like that, and
like goldfish, catfish, like
whatever.
Just fish to eat. Yeah.
You just think they're just out here like what do they call those people? Like what do they call those?
Non-character NPCs.
Yes.
No. I think that whatever created us gave us a food source, right?
Yeah.
Aside from plants, I think they gave us a food source that wouldn't do us much harm and they were easy to get. If you pay attention to fish, most fish that you can consume, they're very healthy for you. Fish don't retain, they try to figure out if fish remember things. They don't really remember things. They don't really feel pain.
Huh.
I'm not talking about porpoise, like
dolphins and mammals
that exist in the water. I'm exclusively meaning fish. And I think they were put here for us to eat because, I mean, the worst you can do is mercury poisoning, and that's man-made because fucked up the oceans. But you can mostly eat fish and plants and live very healthy lives.
Yes.
And so I think whatever created us gave us the ability to learn how to fish. And, most fish you can eat raw, just eat it fine. But you're supposed to at least. So I know that he wasn't like a scholarly man, but I don't think you have to be to figure out puzzles and patterns. The guy who, I forget his name. He's an old dude. He wrote a book talking about how the Anunnaki created us to mine gold, and it was a whole situation where Enki and Enlil, who are also mentioned in the fucking Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yep. We were created.
Yeah. So basically, we were biologically engineered. And so there's so much, man. It could go very, very deep, but I believe it. It makes more sense to me.
You and I both, because I feel like there's certain things that, for me personally, that I will not disclose. Because we had that conversation at the barbershop a few months ago that I was like, there's certain things about me that I'm like, I don't want people to know that, because if they do, I feel like somebody's gonna be like, hey, there she is. But there's certain quirks and things that I have that are unique to me that most people don't have. And I'm thinking, all right, so how did folks like how did folks like myself come about? Where exactly did we come from? Because there's like, so I don't know if you've done this, but I had a ancestry DNA test done years ago, and so I didn't take just like the face value of what I got. I literally downloaded all of the raw DNA information, which was like thousands upon thousands of pieces of paper, and I uploaded it to a scholarly website that literally digitized everything and told me all the other places that Ancestry could not tell me.
Wow.
And it picked up stuff that I was like, okay, so that explains why I have that trait. That explains where this comes from. That explains why this particular group of folks feel like home. This explains why this resonates with me. Things that just based off of phenotype should not resonate with me. They do. Now, I was lucky to have, grow up with a great grandparent, a great great aunt that they were both lived to be 100 and Aunt Addie lived to be 103. Her sister, my great grandmother, lived to be 101. So,
come on.
Right. So, and then all of the grandparents that I was born with, they all lived well into their late 90s. So in their right minds. So I got to hear stories that the average person did not get to hear. Right. And then I had a great grandmother who was college educated. So she wrote down her family history and her parents. Her mother was hold on. Her mother was born free, but her father was not. So she had an unusual upbringing. All three of her, well, she had three sisters. There was three of them. They all went to school, all three. Two went to college. And Addie, she went to Lawrence to become a midwife. So all three of them were college educated, which is, again, also unusual because if you're born in 1887, 1888, 1890 something, and you look like me, that's unusual. So
of course, be allowed.
They made it a point to tell their story, and told it in such detail that I was able to use that to trace them back to 1700s. Had they not wrote that stuff down, I mean, I probably would have intuited and I would have figured it out, but great grandmother literally helped me put the pieces together. Yeah.
So that reminded me, like just that piece you just said, reminded me of something I heard years and years ago. Said you, and talking about us and just kind of like all of our people right now, as ignorant as I can be, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we waste it most of the time. We waste the fact that people suffered for us, not even knowing who we were going to be.
But you know what? You and I did not, because that Jayhawk that you've got on your hat. So
right there.
Yes, right. That right.
Yeah.
Chalk Jayhawk all day, every day. Great grandmother was a Jayhawk. Right. Wave the wheat.
Wave the wheat.
She was a Jayhawk and could not finish school because she was not allowed to.
Yeah.
So when I got my my first degree, my sociology degree, I dedicated that to her because she was not allowed to finish at KU. Because KU said, look here, you got to pass the swimming class. And you know what? I don't want any Negroes in the pool. So sorry, it's too costly. So you can either go be a teacher or you can go to an HBCU, because it wasn't called that at the time, and go further your education. So she decided to be a teacher. So that's what she did. So she was ostracized because she was educated, which blew my mind.
You're talking about she was ostracized from the Black community?
Oh, yes.
Oh, really? Huh. Was she fair-skinned at all?
No, she was probably about my color, but my grandmother, she was fair enough to pass, because on the 1940 census, the whole household is listed as white because Grammy, my grandmother, answered the door. And so when the 1940 census came out, I was like, oh my God. So I literally, looked at my grandparents and I was like, wait a minute, why are they listed as white?
Right.
And then I thought, Okay, Erica, go look and see who answered, who responded. And
Yeah.
when I saw it, I busted out laughing. And so I had, at the time, I wasn't doing very well. And so my dad and I would go to my grandparents' house every Friday.
Right.
So I literally took that document and I was like, Grammy, look at this. And she goes, am I reading this right? And I said, mm-hmm. She says, why did they list us as white? I said, Grammy, look who answered the census takers
Right.
questions. I said, it was you. And she goes, I'll be damned. And I said,
Wow.
they saw you and thought.
So she was very young at the time.
No, Grammy was born in 1924. So she would have been her late teens, I want to say.
16,
So,
17, 18.
Yeah.
So she was in 18. Yeah.
But
24,
but
24.
Grammy could pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grammy could pass.
Yeah, no. I've got here's crazy. This is how bright my family is. I actually just thought about this because I was at my grandmother's yesterday, and it's not a great picture, but this is her complexion.
Okay, she looks Italian to me. Like
Right.
she looks like somebody's Nona.
Right. But she's black.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
We know these things.
I've got people that are much lighter. You know what I mean?
Me too. You and I both. Yeah. You got folks that literally married white folks.
Where you going? You think you need you good? That's Erica. We're doing a podcast.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go grab some smokes.
All right, grab a 7-Up. She always got attitude about something. Anyway,
Yeah, that I have kinfolk who married outside of their race, did not have children intentionally.
Right.
And so it was one particular cousin who was from Texas. That's where my grandfather was from. That would come up to Kansas City every summer and hang out with the black side of the family. And so they would laugh and kiki, be like, ha, 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 I can't believe you married that white man and he didn't even know that you're black and you have to deal with us Negroes. And then she'd go back home. And I'm like, what kind of life did you have? You had to be constantly on edge thinking, please don't let me get too brown. Please don't let anybody notice that I'm hiding in plain sight. I can't imagine the stress that would have just that would have just.
No, I get it.
That would have been.
I get it, but I can understand.
No, you can literally put yourself in that position and think to yourself, just how in the world did you do that? That doesn't make any sense. It's not that it doesn't make any sense. It does make sense, but it's just like I can't imagine that level of stress. I just cannot.
Literally your life
it's on the line. Yeah. So on my mother's side, my great grandpa Will, the one I don't think I told you about Grandpa Will, but that is hold on. Let's see here. Hey. No, you can't see it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, right at the angle.
Yeah. So that's Grandpa Will. Okay. Grandpa Will was.
Is he also native?
That I'm not quite sure, but his father was a white man.
Okay.
And Grandpa Will could also pass. And so some of my grandmothers, so Bookie's brothers and sisters could pass. Some of them could pass and some of them could not. He's got an unusual story. His father was in his life. And so he would go visit them and they would see about him. And if he didn't have food, if he didn't have things or whatever, they would take care of that. And so when he had a family of his own, the kids who could pass, they were allowed to go visit the white family members. The ones who could not pass, they couldn't go.
Yeah. And it sucks, but that's just kind of the way it was. And you got to think, even the white people receiving them are putting
would have been in danger. Yeah.
So they had to play along. So shout out to the white people that played along, because my Uncle Phil, I think I told you about him. He went to Mizzou in the.
Yes, you did when we were coming back from. You talked about that, and that's like. Ew.
He's a ginger, right? But like.
Yeah.
My cousin Philip looks just like him, but his hair is all white now. Fucking white. Mm-hmm. He went viral.
Really?
He went viral like 2 years ago. Because dude was like, she said he was in a place, he was like, something about black people. He was like, man, I'm black. He was like, no, the dude was like, no, you're not. You know what? Hold on. Wait. I remember I sent this message to my Uncle Mark, and I don't send him a lot of messages. I know I sent him that video. Hold on. I had to have sent that video to him. Hold on. Come on. Shit. Might be this one. Gotta find it. It's very important. It's trust me, when you see the video, Uncle Mark. Come on. Midwest Gun Trader. Shit. I gotta find it. I don't know what I did with the video. I'll find it though. I'll find it. I'll have to send it to you, but I'll find it. Did I send it? You know, I feel like I sent it to Brandy too. I'm sorry. See, this is why I usually photo screenshots. No. Who else did I had to send to somebody? Shoot. Where would it be? I wonder if my phone is smart enough to pull up a ginger if I type it in.
Just might be.
Actually, let's see, 12 results. Nope. I really want you to see that video. Shoot. I'll find it. But anyway, yeah.
But that's what I love. We're literally like, it's not so much that we're hiding in plain sight. People think that we are a monolith, and they have no idea just how, like, you can have the same mom and dad, and everybody's a different shade of brown. And somebody might pull some stuff from one side or another side, or from some generations ago that you're like, who in the devil? You don't look like anybody. And if you're lucky, somebody is a nerd and does genealogy and has a picture or something, and you're like, oh, that's who you look like.
Yeah. Who did it's gonna irk me. I gotta find that video.
Yeah.
I feel like I put it in one of my group chats with my family, but people change their numbers and then they'll be like, we're not on the group chat anymore. Let's see. I really hope I got this freaking video. Nope, not that one either. I definitely sent it to my uncle though. But because I got 40 phones.
Right. You and your bad phones.
3 people. Come on, phone. I'll find it when I'm not thinking about it. I guarantee. Maybe this is the one. Teresa. Oh, I feel good about this thread. That's it. Dang it. No, I sent it to Teresa too. Ciao. Let me see. this is terrible. I don't want to stop what we're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. Did you ever start up that show I told you about,
Oh God,
The Great North?
I did not. I don't know. I wrote it down, and then I think I got distracted, or something happened. I don't know. But you said the great. I think maybe I forgot the name of it. But you said the Great North, right?
Great North.
Okay,
YouTube, now live on your channel. Welcome
I
to.
will look that up.
Wait, are we live?
Oh my, yes, we are live. Oh
Are we
my,
live right now?
yes, I just noticed that. Yep, we sure are.
No. I mean on YouTube.
Oh,
Hold on.
oh snap,
Holy shnikes. Current mood.
Jinkies.
Not Jinkies.
Yes, Jinkies.
Let's see. Hold on. YouTube's switch account. Current mood. Account notifications. Well, I be doggone. We are absolutely live.
All right. Okay.
Oh snap.
Jinkies. We did it.
That's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Most definitely. I think so. See, things sometimes things that you don't intend to do turn out to, they come to pass, and you're like, well, I guess that was supposed to be.
What's be the be, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, but my cousin Phil, excuse me, he's a ginger, but he passes,
Mhm.
and he has to tell people like, dude, I'm black. For real.
No, you're not.
I mean, his wife isn't black; she's white. His kids are they appear to be white, and that's fine. It's not a big deal.
No,
But
not at all.
like I often am surprised as to how many people just pass, you know,
And fade into obscurity. And if you don't, but I feel like there's something about. Did you?
I saw him. It was a Black Shadow.
Yeah, that was Kiba ran down.
Yeah.
But there's something. It's an unsaid it's an unsaid knowing amongst us that we
What is that? Is that a child?
that is a child that doesn't know that I am.
Scared the shit out of me.
Don't do that. I know she kind of looked like the Ring.
It was a hair. It was like,
yeah.
I was like, please see what I'm seeing. Come on down, Amy.
No, we
Yeah,
don't. No, we don't.
All right, never mind.
We don't do that because she's literally gonna freak out. But no. But what's I gonna say? Oh, dag nabbit. Oh shit.
We've done an hour, by the way.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
hour
wow.
3 minutes. Yeah.
So we can't. If you want to wrap up, like I got plenty of footage to edit.
It's up to you.
And so, yeah, you got anything else you want to talk about right now?
Other than when we're gonna go check out Sinners again and literally go with a I feel like going to see it again, I'm going to see things and I'm going to pick up things that I didn't pick up before. And then I'm going to be like, I'll be doggone. How did I miss that? Or that connects to here, whatever. But I will say this about Sinners. So we were talking about music. I'm not going to lie. So when they were doing the Irish jig music, that also resonated. And I got pissed off because I was like, damn it. You know, those jeans, shh, this is not about you. This is not about you. Shh.
It's not about you.
It's not about you. But it still felt like home. And I was like,
but that's the thing. It wasn't, I know what you're thinking, but I want to change your direction, right? It's not Irish jig music. Think about the Celts.
Yes,
right?
Celtic.
Music, right?
Because I literally just from a specific Viking and I found that out and I was like, Vikings? And I was like, okay, Erica. So when I snap and go berserk, that's literally, yeah.
But the history that we're taught about Norsemen and Vikings is not the complete history.
No, no.
Native Americans and Africans sailed the oceans
Yep.
for thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
And so some of the Norsemen or Vikings that we don't really like the story of Eric the Red.
Right.
Right.
And Leif Erikson and all those great
Erikson and all those people. Old school cat. And I never called him on it. I enjoyed what he told me so much. I never looked into it. It just made sense. He said Africans sailed the world. Yes. Right. They were in China before white people. They,
the Americans, they made it here. Yeah.
America for forever. They were everywhere. And they talked about, if you look at the fighting styles of the Vikings and the fighting styles of the West Africans and the Sudanese, they're very similar, right? But here's the thing. They're fighting styles all over the world, and mostly they're not the same, right? But the berserker mentality, right? Figure out the connection between the Zulu, and how the Zulu fight and how the berserkers fight. It's a mirror. It's the same fucking thing, right? And when they went around and traveled and they learned things and they traded and stuff, like, you got to remember, most Africans like aren't small people.
No,
they're not small people. No, right? Like the people they show on TV, like, that are malnourished. No. You go, you take you 100 Nigerians.
Is all get out. Trees. Yeah.
And not just them though. Like, shout out to my Pacific Islanders.
Dude. Like and shout out to my doctor. He is he's from South Korea. He is tall as all get out. He's every bit of 6'3".
Yeah.
Tall as all get out.
Yeah.
All get out.
Crazy.
I don't think it's so crazy. I think it's fascinating. I think there's so many things that people don't want to realize, that we're more interconnected and more related than you.
That should be our next topic. Moors. The Moors.
Yes, and I got that ancestry in my DNA as well. And so I'm just like, son of a bee. I'm like, this stuff literally makes sense.
I was like, my uncle who was doing some research on our family, he found some of our people from Louisiana, and he was like, no, they came directly from Moors. Like, after when they jacked up Italy and they had to make tracks in different places, they he said, no, like 2 generations down, like, they came over here. Like, that part of our family came over here to the Americas. This is pre industrial shit, right? So I'm talking about, like, they came to the Americas, and he said that they intermingled with the Native Americans. And, like, I'll have to give you some names and let you do some research, because I don't know what he was talking. All I know he said was, we have Moorish blood from our family in Louisiana, right? I was like, how is that possible? I was like, then he said,
think about it, because what is it? Shreveport was it Shreveport? No. What is there is a major port city in Louisiana. I'm trying to think of. It's not Shreveport.
Baton Rouge is not a major.
Well, it'll come to me. But it was a major port city, and so they, like, it was really like French folks. You had the Native Americans that were there. You had, of course, enslaved Africans. You've got
Port of New Orleans.
No, I need to look at one of my my family history maps, and it'll tell me what that port city was. But that was there were so many people that came in through that port city, and also Baltimore, Maryland. There's another one in South Carolina. I think, is there South Carolina? I think so. Places that you wouldn't think of as like major hubs of seafaring travel. You wouldn't think of those things, but yeah, they were.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to give me those names of your kinfolk, and I have to look that up because
Yeah.
one of my cousins told me I literally need to do this for to get paid for it, and I was like, man, I do this for fun. He was like, no, you for real need to do this for real.
For real.
For it.
For real.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Well, we'll stop it. Let's go stop the recording. And then I'll say what I say.